Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Storm Collectibles KYO KUSANAGI from the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match. I'm not a King of Fighters guy. I like some of the characters, but I haven't kept up with all of the games. There's a new game. I'm assuming it's not this one based on the date. Anyway, this is the new version of KYO, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. Storm figures are pretty fun usually, so I thought, what the heck? I'll review it. I know a lot of you guys are into the King of Fighters things. For me, it's basically Terry and Mai. That's all I care about. But well, I like Iori. I like a few of them. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we get into the figure, let me show you my package. It's a good one. I like this package a lot. You still get the figure front and center, but you get a nice bit of artwork and some cool logo there. I like it. It's a very appealing package. If you are an in-package collector, this one will look nice on a shelf. And because it's a very stylized artwork, it's not going to detract from the figure because it doesn't look like this in the game really, so it doesn't have to match it exactly. It's not a detriment. Like even these two artworks don't go together perfectly. So yeah, I think that's nice. I think they still could up the photos on the back, make them a little bit bigger. We don't need the background as much, you know? But it's still fine. Looks good. Shows the figure off a little bit. This, not a good choice. Those are basically the exact same photo with a different head. So, you know, they could have, like, just zoomed in on the head. Although, wait, they did that here. Weird stuff. That's that photo, isn't it? No, it's not. But it's similar. Anyway, weird photos on the back. But otherwise, it's a nice package. I like that they have the open at the top so that you get some light in there if you are collecting on the card or in the box in this case. All right. Let's get looking at this guy. He is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description below. He stands 7.5 inches. These guys are creeping up there. And it's about 19 centimeters. He's very large. There he is up against Darwin. These guys started off supposedly being... You know, ever since I got the full frame camera, the ruler's always trying to get in the shot. Anyway, these guys started off at 1/12 scale. Now they're just gigantic. Comparatively, here he is up against a Marvel Select Captain America. He is... Maybe Cap is taller, but it's close, and he's definitely... Like, it's really, really big, and that's a big... Here's a DC figure, for instance, a smaller one, but still... Yeah, these guys are humongous, not going into 1/12 scale. So, question of the day, which version of KYO do you like the most? Do you like this new look, or do you like the classic look? For me, the classic look is way nicer. However, this figure has some new implementations, which are quite nice, and I'm glad I'm reviewing it. So let's get into it. Aesthetically, it's very clean. And that's fine, but I think for being as clean as it is with such a simple sculpt, a little bit of shading would have gone a long way. Just to bring it to life a little bit, the paint that's there is pretty darn clean. We've seen some sloppy paint from Storm, not much, but some, and his is nice. Those lines are pretty darn good. I'm not seeing a lot to be concerned with here. It's just not that it's just that there's not a lot to talk about at all. The sculpt is very simple. There's not a lot of wrinkling going on in the clothing, which is okay, but it does make the figure look kind of tubular, kind of basic, kind of bland. So you're going to have to bring him to life by posing him and using the effect parts, which I think you'll be able to do well enough. But yeah, it's very, very clean release. The chain here, nicely done. I like the shading in the hair. That brings it to life. It's done really well. And then the face is nice and clean. The eyes are good. A little bit of shading around the eyes. Yeah, I think it's a good looking figure. Just a little simple, so a little more paint would have helped. But I can't really fault him for that, I suppose. Well, no, I can. I would say it needs to be a little bit spruced up. But still, it's really, really clean. So I will go 8 out of 10. Like, it's surprisingly clean. It's very nice finish, nice smooth flat finish or satin finish, matte finish, depending on where you look. So that's good. As far as accessories go, I really like this part. We have 3 heads total. The kind of smiling neutral head, the teeth gritted angry head, and then the yelling head. They're all really well done. Some of the better faces Storm has executed. And then we have the 3 different hairs on those figures. The front parts are interchangeable, so you can add the windswept or the just hanging down hair or whatever hair to whichever head you want. and it's very well executed. I like that a whole bunch. For hands, you get a really good spread of hands, everything you're going to need. That's very good. You get an interchangeable jacket piece, so you have to pop the arms off. Be careful with that. I'll put a note in there if I have any problems with it. I don't think I will. They've kind of figured that out by now. But yeah, you get another jacket piece, so it's windswept. That's really good. I love that. That'll bring the figure to life a little bit. And then you get the 3 effect parts, the little one, and then the bigger one, and then the really bigger one. And as usual, Storm has executed those very well. So great spread of accessories. The only thing missing is a stand for these guys, and the Storm stands are really big, but they did start to sell them individually rather than having to get them with figures. So I think it's reasonable enough. I will say 9 out of 10 for the accessories. Interchangeable faces and hair, a clothing part, 3 effect parts, and all the hands. Yes. The only thing missing is a stand. So that's very good. Alright, let's check out the articulation. There's some stuff that's new. I'll point that out first. Elbows, different design than we're used to seeing. A lot of people complained about Storm's elbows before because of the little dimples, the little holes in there that let them function. It never bothered me, but it bothered some people. Those are gone now. And I'll talk about the other one when we get down to the ankles, because you might think they have no range, but they do. Alright, so let's pop the head off. Same articulation as usual. It's a double ball peg that goes all the way down into the chest that allows the flexible neck to move. And it does work on this one. For a while, they weren't stiff enough that you couldn't actually hold the neck in a pose. And now you can, so that's good. So that bottom joint definitely works. The top joint usually doesn't actually function like a ball peg, even though it is. The neck is not a ball socket, it's just a cylinder. So you end up with limited range on the top. But let's see. Obviously you're going to get your rotation, that's fine. There's a little bit of play on that ball, but not much. So most of it's going to have to happen in the neck. But it does work, and with the jacket hiding the folding of the softer material, it actually works really well. So I think that's going to be nice and functional. That's pretty good. Now, you do have to be aware, you have the jacket on top, and then you have this soft piece and the articulation inside, so you're going to have to readjust these soft pieces. Probably frequently. That's just, if you have Storm figures, you know what I'm talking about. The torsos tend to shift as you're posing them, and you just have to get them realigned with the skeleton inside, but it works. Alright, so let's try the shoulder. Without using the ball peg, slightly better than horizontal. That's just on the hinge. Then you do get the ball peg in there that lets it move around. The jacket's holding it down some, but not that much. And then it moves around nicely. That's feeling good. I'm not sure what materials they're using now, but it's nice and smooth and buttery. You can shrug that shoulder up there if you want to. You can drop it down and adjust the jacket. Full rotation, other than where the jacket is, but it flexes. This is pretty well executed, guys. This might be a new step for Storm. Plus, he's rather slender. Storm's known for making him pretty chonky. I think Storm might be reassessing and moving in a slightly newer direction, so that's pretty good. Fei Long was fairly slender too. Yeah, that's really nice. Things are working nice. So yeah, there's no swivel here. It's built into the shoulder, but it works really well, so that's good. Double jointed elbow looks better, and it's still somewhat limited. Just a little bit better than 90. That's been an issue for Storm for a while. It still is. Looks better though, so I'll give him that. And then the wrists are on ball hinges, and this is actually soft. It's not hard PVC, it's soft PVC at the end of the sleeve, so you should be able to pose the wrist. Yeah, it works. There's a little paint transfer on there from the white. That's unfortunate, but it does function. Alright, let's see how this torso joint works. It goes all the way back to where you can actually see inside, so that's kind of a nuisance, but just don't go that far back. It's not really that far though, so that's a limitation. We'll see if we can make up for it down here. Going forward goes all the way. Finally, a company let a figure lean forward, and they knew the jacket was going to hide it. I'm guessing there's a big opening in here. Yeah, there is. But the jacket's hiding it, so that's really good. He can lean forward wonderfully. I like that. Side to side also works really well. You're going to get your rotation, so that's good. And then under here we have another ball peg that lets him lean back and forward and side to side and rotate even more. So, oh yeah, he crunches nice. I had a feeling this was going to be a really good figure. It's a shame I don't like this design for KYO that much. But you can go that far back. So it's really far back. It does get a little gappy and separated in the front there. But he's quite functional, so I like it. That's good. Man, I want them to release some more Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat figures. Alright, going out to the side. Full-on splits, no problem at all. Could be tighter but aren't loose. So that's good. Going forward, the crotch flexes enough. Gets a really nice high kick. And then going back, Yeah, you have good range, and it stretches out his cheek in a way that doesn't look weird, so he can really do some nice kicking if you really wanted him to. Like, yeah, this is good. Storm is upping their game. They are definitely continually progressing. Thigh swivel is nice and effective. They swivel out more than in, which is the way you want it. Swiveling in is almost always useless, so that's good. Double jointed knee, let's check the functionality there. It's good enough. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's definitely sufficient. It's not like a super deep knee bend, but that is good. This figure poses well, guys. I'm glad, because I was worried about that tubularness of him. But if you throw his other jacket on and maybe the other hair and then pose him up, I think you're going to be just aces. So bringing the foot back, you get pretty good range. And then bringing the foot forward, normally Storms don't do that well. This isn't great. It's still pretty limited, but the pants aren't the limitation. It's still the joint. So that's unfortunate. I was hoping it was going to have better range, but this whole part of the pants is a softer PVC. You can squeeze it a little bit. There's a skeleton in there to hold the leg together, but it is flexible, so we should be able to get an ankle rocker going. Yeah, ankle rocker works. The foot does come forward, just still not as far as I would like. Toe joint is well placed. Still not the best looking toe joint, but it's pretty good. It might even be too far forward, but it'll do. Alright, this guy's articulation, it's as good as I thought, other than the ankle, still not great. But it poses really well. It's not perfect, but it is really nice, and I think you're going to get some really dynamic poses out of him. So I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. I would like to see better range in the elbows and ankles, but otherwise he is really, really solid. And I'm thrilled. It's good. It's a shame. I'm so tired of reviewing figures that I don't really care about personally that turn out awesome. I want the ones I want to turn out awesome. But this one's good for sure. I'm going to give this guy an overall rating of 9 out of 10. It's one of Storm's best releases, I think. I was concerned about the sculpt, but I think that'll disappear as you pose him. And then really the only downside's no stand, which hardly any figures come with a stand. Slightly limited elbows and limited ankles. Otherwise, it poses really well. So, yeah, I like it. I definitely recommend it. This is one of their best for sure. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it from me. I think there is shading in the pants. It's either shading or there's a weird thing happening with the light and the material. But it looks like there is like a purpley shading in the pants now that I look at it closer. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? It's like a shimmer almost. It's very subtle. I wish I noticed that sooner. But if you made it this far and caught that little note that I found out about the pants, you can say, hey, he's shimmering in the comment section below. And people will be like, why is everybody weird? But I'll know why you're weird. Anyway, that's it for me. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down is fine. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.